Fallout from the alleged drone attack on the Kremlin continued today. A spokesperson for President Vladimir Putin alleged, without providing evidence, that the U.S. was behind the attack. The White House quickly denied the accusation.
I would just tell you Mr. Peskov's lying. I mean, it's a ludicrous claim. The United States had nothing to do with this. We don't even know exactly what happened here.
This accusation from the Russian side comes one day after Moscow accused Ukraine of orchestrating the attack. Seizing on the moment, a senior Russian official said Moscow had no option but to, quote, eliminate Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and his clique. Ukraine has denied any involvement in the alleged attack. Tomasz Grodzki is Speaker of the Senate of Poland. He's in Ottawa this week meeting with MPs and officials. Speaker, welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, listeners and TV viewers.
There's been quite a bit of drama in Moscow over the last couple of days with this drone attack that is being blamed on Poland and then on America by President Putin. What is your understanding? What is Poland's understanding of what happened?
Well, it seems to be just a provocation because Putin is using a lot of power to conquer Ukraine, but he's unable to prevail, fortunately. So this is a long history of the provocations in Russia. So he probably organized a provocation to justify the use of, hopefully not nuclear tactical weapon, but it was quite dangerous event.
Yesterday they blamed it on Ukraine. Today they're blaming it on the Americans. I mean, what do you make of their response from Moscow?
Well, there were drone attacks on Kiev and Odessa, mostly responded by the Ukrainian army, and hopefully this war will go rather to an end, and everybody expects that it will finish this year. But the most important thing is waiting for the counteroffensive of Ukraine. It's said to be late spring or early summer. It depends on the local conditions because of state of the roads, air dominance, and et cetera, et cetera.
Let's just talk about that because Russia has been pounding Ukrainian targets this week with airstrikes. And last month we saw leaked U.S. intelligence warning about real weakness in Ukrainian air defense. Are you worried about Ukraine's ability to stay in this fight, given those warnings from the U.S. intelligence?
Well, this is one of the crucial things. Domination on the land and domination in the air. Because we delivered the post-Soviet MiG-29 Strikers to the Ukrainian pilots. They know how to use them. Mm-hmm. They are waiting for F-16, but the process of training, it takes some time. And the missiles response for defense of the sky on Ukraine, they are still more and more efficient, but there are some lags of ammunition and so on. It's a full-scale war. You know, I would call it a battle of civilization. Mm-hmm. Between the free world and the barbarians. So if the free world, democratic world, will stay united and deliver whatever they need, long-range artillery, jets, tanks, ammunition, Ukrainians, highly motivated to defend their homeland, will prevail.
Do you think Ukraine has what it needs? I mean, we are on this verge of a counteroffensive at some point, as you've outlined, but there have been shortages of munitions, and a few other countries have donated planes, like Poland has, and tanks have been kind of slow to arrive in some cases. Do you think they're ready? I mean, what's your sense of how successful this counteroffensive can be?
Well, hopefully at maximal scale. Because the goal is to remove the last Russian soldier from the whole territory of Ukraine, including Crimea. We don't know whether it will be a full-scale counteroffensive or rather local, mm-hmm. followed by the next one, and next one. It's a job for generals and military logistics. Because we have a big hub in the city of Rzeszów, where all the military equipment, virtually all, is traveling to Ukraine. But it's a big country, so the distances are long. some tanks are unable to fight in the muddy roads and so on. So there is a lot of details, but the motivation, this is a big difference. Motivation of the Ukrainians, even if the eastern part of Ukraine were the pro-Soviet before the war, but not anymore, not any longer. They feel Putin decided to erase Ukraine from the map, and they are fully motivated not to allow him to do it.
You mentioned even out of Crimea. I mean, they've been occupying that for 8 years now, ever since, or going on 9. How long do you think it could take to clear all of that territory? I mean, the U.S. intelligence leaks also said they saw no hope, for peace talks even this year. I mean, are we still looking at multi-year conflict, do you think, in Ukraine?
Well, the shorter, the better, obviously, because, Crimea was a lesson for all of us. Because right now our illusions and naivety evaporated with the smoke of bombed houses, schools, theaters, and killed innocent people. So we are not any more naive, because Russia is an aggressive country for centuries, and we have to teach them that any attack on independent sovereign country will be severely punished. If we prevail in this war as a free world, it will be restoration of the world order. If hopefully not, Ukraine will fail. It will be a lot of turbulences all over the world, unfortunately.
Yeah, at the core of NATO is to counter the threat presented by Russia. Your country spends 2.5% of GDP.
Right now, much more.
Much more, right? Because of
up to 4%, because we are buying a lot of equipment, including F-35, Abrams tanks, and so on. Of course, it's prolonged for years because the delivery takes some time, but we are a front country. So we are devoted to make our defense stronger, because despite we are a full NATO member, first days we have to defend by ourselves until the coalition will come.
No, I mean, you're right there, and so it's understandable. But, Canada only spends 1.29% of GDP. Has that been a topic of conversation? Is Poland concerned about the level of defense spending in this country?
We're discussing it today with both chiefs of parliament, because we have to do more than we are doing now. Because Ukrainians are fighting for us, for our freedom, for our democracy. And we are obliged, it's our kind of moral obligation to deliver them as much military equipment as possible. And Canada, a powerful country with good resources, and the wealthy country can deliver a little bit more. I heard you offered 4 Leopard tanks, while you have 86. So give them more.
But they're in such disrepair, we couldn't even ship them over. So I mean,
I know. I heard
you have a very different view of it because of your proximity to Russia and the history of your part of the world. We've enjoyed the security umbrella of the United States for a long, long time here in Canada. Do you think Canada right now is taking defense and defense spending seriously enough?
Well, it's not my role to assess it, but the first Canadian soldiers serving in Poland were in my home city of Szczecin, where there is a location of multinational NATO corps northeast. Right now we have Canadians in many other locations. So I appreciate you are a reliable NATO member. We remember that you first, as Canada, supported our membership in NATO in 1999. So we are grateful for it. And I believe you are doing your utmost efforts. But always, believe me, I'm surgeon, always you can do a little bit more, a little bit better.
Okay. Speaker Grodzki, it was nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking with you.